Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders. Thanks to Sportsbet, I'm Roy. I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Wine Dogs.
And Calvin.
Coach of Calvinator.
Boys, tick that one off.
We've done it.
We done it.
Thankfully.
Some better than others, but
All
we've
the
done
boys
it.
are done and dusted. So
Yep.
we'll have a little review today to see how we went through that period, because I'll tell you what, it can make or break your season.
Well, we always say it's moving time. It's
It
time that the coaches that plan, the coaches that maybe get a little bit more than others.
Yeah, 100%, that's important.
Can do all right. But it's where we try to build our teams and hopefully come out on the other side better. And to a point of being better is complete, if that's the right word to use for it.
Well, look, you are allowed to use the word complete. You don't mean you've got the rolling 22. It means what? That you've got all your rookies off
And you get
pretty serviceable bodies on the ground.
That's the key word, Roy.
Serviceable. Yes. Well, there was some blokes prior to the weekend I thought would be serviceable.
Yes, gosh, weren't we wrong?
Oh, in a big way.
Right, well, you are our man. You're going to win us.
Come on, Roy.
Us a hat. Because you moved up 40 spots to 119th. Port Adelaide would like that one, I reckon. But 119th overall.
Yeah.
Happy with yourself?
Well, I am. That 40-point jump was important. I thought to jump this week when I was playing with the big dogs up there that I would have needed to nail, a top 2 or 3 scorer as my captain.
Yep.
But I didn't, and I still moved up, which is a good sign for us moving forward, boys.
It is.
Us. So what was your score? 2005.
2005, which was a little bit better than par.
Yeah, no,
Up
that's
there.
nice.
Yeah.
Mine was about par because I moved up 21 spots for the week. So a 1928 got me there. So 27.58 overall. It is what it is.
What's your goal from here?
I'd love to be top 1,000. I don't know if it's doable, but
I feel
9
like
weeks.
I feel like it is.
It is.
9 weeks is still a fair chunk.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, it's a big one, yeah.
Just about, I'm good old vanilla Warn Dog, straight back Warn Dog.
Yeah.
And I don't
Can you straight bat it to 1,000?
Maybe not, but I don't want to go outside of that because that's my brand. But
It is.
also, it can screw you back the other way. That's
Well,
the other
it
thing.
can.
You could finish 10K.
The equivalent is like when you're 2 goals down in the last quarter and you can just go hell for leather, try to get the win, or it can slip out to a bit of a flogging.
The issue for us is that people remember the floggings more than the wins.
They do.
You take your goalie out of the square, Roy, play an extra midfielder. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Where are you at, Calvinator? Tell us about your...
Okay, I'm going to stand by this.
Right.
Okay. I scored 1779. There is
What is it, a pirate? Oh,
There is no way my score is being added up correctly.
No,
I've been saying it all year.
Yeah, no, and
I didn't think I
tend
had
to
you by
agree.
150.
There's something going on here. There is something in the system, and I'm sure there's people out there going, I hear you, Cal.
Yeah,
I'm with
there
you.
would be.
They're not adding it up right.
Right, you got him by 226.
Yeah, because I'm only getting like my best 15 counting.
How the hell did
I'm
that
telling you
happen?
now, I am getting ripped off every single week.
I
So
don't
what's
think
your
I've
ranking now, V8?
Ever knocked you off by that much?
Yeah,
in one week?
it's a drubbing, Roy. My ranking is it's just outside the 9,000. Okay,
Or just inside the 10,000?
or just no, just outside the 9.
Okay, so as far as goal setting, where are we aiming for?
Well,
What happened to your ranking over the last 2 weeks then?
I slid 2,000 spots this week. It was always going to be my worst week.
2,164 spots, if you want to be exact
listen
with
to
that.
him.
Well, people like accuracy.
I don't think they do. Yeah, so I slid a lot, but I think, Roy, I can get back within the top 5K.
Does this do anything to your label as the buy specialist?
Oh, it tarnishes it, Roy, yes.
Here it is! That's what you did, Jenny. You stuck it right up them.
Okay, just to prove that my score isn't being added up right,
Yes.
I got... I was going to say I captained him, but I didn't. I'm talking Errol Goulden here with a 154, if you don't mind.
He is the form player of the
The
competition.
best
is.
player. You'll pay $1 million for him.
Yes.
And you need to.
Yes.
So he's gone at 144 in his last 3 now. So he'll be high on the captain rankings this
Should have
week.
all made
Has
an
to be.
LBC on the weekend.
We should have,
Should have
shouldn't we?
done it. So I'll set you up next week.
Fair enough. I'll go next. Oh, my God. I'm going to get emotional here.
Can imagine.
It's been a long time coming.
Yep.
He's copped a lot of rockets and a lot of -3. So when Brayshaw rocks up and gets a 136,
Yep.
I'm talking his second 100 in 6 weeks, his second best score of the year. I just feel so proud of him.
Oh,
+3. Well, dog, yeah, he just misfires a fair bit. Shoots blanks, but well done. Brayshaw, +3, 136. Bit more of that on the run home, please.
Yes.
Got you knocking on the door.
He does.
The top 100.
Yeah.
Good. Now, my man, Butters, he got off his suspension during the week. Then Berry came at him. Then he went off with a shoulder injury.
He's a roller coaster.
And then he tried to get suspended again. Just copped a 10K fine for it. But, yeah, Butters, 124. I'll take that, and I need to take that because anytime you get a good thing from old Zachary, you will celebrate it.
That's the definition of luck.
Isn't
What?
it?
Should have been rubbed out. Yeah. 124 off a tag and a should have been suspension.
And hurt himself.
Yes.
It is something that you do need to have a little bit of a look at and go, I wouldn't recommend anyone get Zach Butters in their team because of that. But 124.
Yeah, take that every day.
It was the most disgraceful display I've ever seen.
Because it's just not acceptable.
Spew up all right.
Yes.
And that's in between crying about Luke Ryan.
Yes.
That dude.
I know.
Seriously. I've changed the rule too. It's not 3 weeks in a row of -3 you have to trade anymore.
Yep.
I've brought it back. It's 2 weeks. So
And
he's
if
gone.
you've only owned him for those 2 weeks.
Hell yeah, he's gone.
Makes it even worse.
Look, I don't know. Was that comment about being ball hungry, was that aimed at him? Because he certainly sulked around out there like
Didn't
it
he?
was.
Yep.
Oh, fine, I won't touch it then.
Yeah, you want to be like that.
That was disgusting for the second week in a row.
Yep.
More fool me. $1 million for a guy who I thought is the player that I've seen the last 2 weeks.
Surely that's been in your rule book before.
It has. Not to mention the peroxide on top, cherry on top. You just don't go there.
Could he give you any more flags?
I broke 3. No, he couldn't have. I broke every rule to bring him in. I thought he forced my hand, and it was all just to trick me.
Again.
He's cost me a hat before, and he's hell-bent on doing it again.
Well, don't let him do it.
No.
I'm not going to. But
When we get our trades later in the show, if he's not in it.
do you know what Crying Ryan does to me, though? Oh, good. He got me back out. Now I go big again.
Yeah, he would.
He's got a good draw, too. He'll wreck me any way he can.
He will.
Anyway, he got a negative. He didn't even make the cut for my team. $1 million, and he didn't make the 18.
That's funny. He's
It's
a
not
bloke that
funny, dog.
didn't make mine, and I traded him in this week. You think a player that you trade in, unless it's a rookie for your bench, should count in your 18.
Yes.
Christian Salem, 53, far out, and subbed out. Like, it was just a disaster. That was a disaster on Saturday night watching that, and I reckon Gal might get to that in a little bit. But 53 points for a bloke that you traded in that you just, again, wanted some sort of competency from. We talked before about being a player that you completed team.
Well, he had runs on the board leading up to
He did.
selecting
He was good.
him.
The 4 weeks before that, yes. Calvin going, on the scale of hardness, they're all
100%.
greens.
They were all greens, dog. I did warn you.
Have you been? A low break even.
I feel like you've been getting some Captain Hindsight comments about Salem.
There are a couple. They didn't come before it. But anyway.
Coming after it.
You came at me about it.
No.
You're one of them. Anyway, she'll be right. He can go this week. 1 week wonder for the Warn Dogs. God, all those things far out. It's just one of those weeks this week. It was if I stuck with my Monday rage trades,
they
I
were
would have
good
been better
trades.
off by a long way.
That's one thing I actually have been doing. I've taken a leaf out of your cow book, except with good players.
Yep, good.
Monday mark.
Yeah, and sticking with them. They tend to be the best ones.
My -3. I'm going to try to keep this
It's on behalf of a few people, I reckon.
PG rated.
Yeah.
Without
PG. Hang on.
Being-
Do we have even that high rating?
Yeah, we know G rated, without being insulting or, and I don't know any other way to just get into it.
But just shut up then, because I don't reckon you've got
I don't know.
anything.
I don't know a fair way to describe it.
How can any normal human, right?
Yeah,
define normal human.
Score 26 points, and I'm talking about Clayton Oliver. 26, Roy. Think about that. 26
He had a good second half.
in a full game. See what he had at halftime?
One.
One.
Oh, come on.
And you even look at that and go, oh, yeah, 25 in the second. Even that's not even close to a proper score.
See, we said this before we started recording.
He junked.
What score would have we been still as disappointed in him?
Yep, 50, 60.
Yeah.
And he goes 26.
But then, Roy, you said at 26 is not even disappointing.
It's not.
It's just laughable.
He's just a complete write-off at
Yep.
26. You don't even
26.
get angry.
And I know I shouldn't have him in my team, and I know that. But have a look at my team, right? They're full of people like this.
I thought he could hold down M8 for a while.
It's not even close.
I thought he was coming back off his bye. I thought that was the end of his pre-season.
I
He'd be
thought
right now.
God, he could have a decent buy play. A guy that
Yep.
he was averaging like high 90s there for about a month.
So the thing is, he copped attention, obviously, from Phillips.
Yep.
Did.
Surely you'd tackle?
You do something.
Oh, back in the day, he would have laughed at Phillips
He would have.
trying to stand next
Yep.
to him.
He just doesn't look like normal Clary. Not even close.
Not close.
What does normal Clary look like?
Well,
It's pretty
running,
Running,
tackling,
ball in hand.
enjoying himself out there.
I don't know. Demons players, they're going to be
Yeah.
hard to even look at
They are.
on the way home.
Right. Someone I don't reckon had Clary was Ben. Parky's Punishers. They won the week. 21.59. See, you're not that far off that, Roy,
I
for the
feel
weekly
like I'm
winner.
fair off.
Anyway, they were good. There's a couple of other teams that were 21.50s with the Adams family, Taylor's version, and Lin Jong-un. Good one. They were, our top scorers for the week for that round 15. Now, the overall leader is still Thomas with Pom United. So, setting up there nicely in 1985. So, you beat the weekly winner. You beat the overall leader this week.
Did
Roy.
I? Oh, I'll take that.
20 points.
Coming
in.
He's coming after him.
And Hat Watch, why?
Lift your game, mate.
I feel like you talk about the PG rated. I feel like we could be cancelled every time we read out the 100th hat winner.
Yeah, but we won't. It's Dylan's team.
Dylan's team.
He's doing well.
Kissed somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, so Roy, I did the maths on that though. You're only 19 points off 100th place.
Am I really?
So you made up 51 points this week.
My goal, I want to be that guy on Hat Watch, sitting at 100.
Do you reckon you can get it 1 week?
I reckon this week.
Sit on it.
Oh, I tell you, I'm working on a song.
Not really.
I've got a song.
I'm not
ya?
going to get top 100. Stop putting the pressure on me.
Well,
anyway.
there's enough pressure that I'm halfway through writing a song about it.
Why
We
would you
did
do
that a
that?
few years ago in about 2008. I
Yeah,
think,
so
when we was
there's a
going
hat.
to
There's
work
a.
What happened that year? Can we learn from that?
No. Once you get this little hat and inside that top 100, we'll release the song on the podcast. It is.
You're going to waste your time and effort.
No, I'm not.
It'll
You'll get
never
in
be
this-
released.
You'll be in this top 100 at
Next
some point.
week.
Next week.
Next week, a debut song coming out on the podcast.
Nah. It'll be like the Beatles. 50 years later, they find this dusty old cassette that was never released.
All right, let's have a look at the buy rounds then and what we did. So we'll look at where we were ranked prior to the buys and where we're ranked outside of the buys. So, Roy, while it's not the biggest number of jumps, it is the most important jump. You started at 563rd
Yes.
and came into that 119th. So a big
It was
jump.
a big jump. Yeah. So
sum up your buys. Grade your buys.
Well, I will. So I stayed strong with our traditional strategy that, it's no secret and we're all doing it, but removing your rookies where you can, and then your mid prices and just eyeing premiums off the buy. So I didn't do anything different in terms of that. Now I traded really well in terms of my target premiums through there. They've all really looked after me, bar one. And that is, of course, Crying Ryan. I've had a lot of luck with injury through this period as well. I haven't had many premiums go down or anything like that. So it did enable me to keep using those 3 trades wisely, either cash grabbing or, as I said, launching into mid-pricer or a rookie to a premium.
All right. I moved up about 900 spots. So I was 3,685 going into the buys, and then moved up to 2,758 overall. The last 2 weeks have been pretty much stagnant. Like I think 3 rounds in a row I've been like 2,700 something. So that's about where I am. Still trying to climb back up to that 1,599 that I was back in round 6. So that's where it was. So I'll call it a success. I did the right things in that sense. My strategy has been good. I'd almost call it too good in the sense that... what I mean, it did lock me... It locked me into moves because I sort of planned them out so well, and even to the point that my 3 players that I traded out this week to make sure that I was fielding the best team possible type thing, and the strategy move on, getting rid of McRae, he was on a bye, but Steele and Baker, not necessarily, my team's not that good that I needed to move them, and maybe there's a bit of hindsight too that I could have just done a rookie move, which may have, well, probably still would have netted me more points if I picked the right one, but that's sort of where I'm at. But it set me up. I've got now that completed team, whatever you want. Yeah. Enough competent bodies, whatever. What about you, Cal? What did you move up, mate?
So I was outside the 11,000, and like Dog, I planned the buy so well, and it was actually my downfall in the end, Rory.
Moved up the most out of all.
I did.
So you win again?
Buy specialist. Yeah. I just keep winning.
2,200 spots up.
Yeah, but I did get up to about 7K. Which is, that's hat areas. But, my team still sucks, and I'm not doing very well, Roy.
Did you go all right with your trades?
My team is, after this week, I'll have all rookies off and that. I'm about probably 3 weeks behind everybody else.
So what does that look like then? Who are your worst players prior to your trades then?
Before trading this week. So I've still had Clohosey. Clohosey was still there. And Oliver. So they have to go this week as my 2 worst players.
Yeah.
I guess that's me too, prior to trades. Or Salem, the back line, Oliver. Powell.
So I've still mentioned Powell. I've still got Capel. Yeah, he's 3rd on the list.
And then do you mention Simpkin, who I bought in? Like he's my F6, but
he's still very vulnerable.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
He's definitely not a keeper.
Has my sexy B too. I'll talk about him a little bit.
That's a concern
for sure.
Anyway, what about you, Destroy? Who are your worst players? Because this will make everyone else feel bad about their teams.
Well.
Don't say Ryan.
No, like he is someone that...
He has been the worst.
He has been the last 2 weeks. But so my 3 would be Sexton, Simpkin and Fisher.
Okay, Fisher.
Yeah.
Wow.
Worrying signs for him. No, you guys you'll see what I'm talking about in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll have a chance in a couple of weeks to do something about that.
I won't be doing anything either, especially because the forward line still drops off so quick. But... yeah, the Fish, he's not getting those real easy balls anymore.
Votes are in for the Michael Barlow Medal. That's our cash cow of the year. And for round 15...
yes, I'm kicking off with his 2nd ton of the bye period. Ollie Dempsey gets the 5 votes for his 104, a tidy stat line featuring 25 disposals, 7 marks and a goal was what a lot of teams needed in round 15.
Logan Evans grabbed 4 votes. He was the downgrade of the week after racking up 75 points on debut.
Tip of the hat to Sam De, who scored 74 after kicking 3 goals in the absence of Ben King. We wouldn't recommend coaches get him, but he can feel proud that he received 3 votes.
Sure can. 2 votes goes to Colton Tolstrup for his 72 that he scored on Saturday night. 10 disposals, was boosted by his 5 marks and 7 tackles.
I've been super happy having Big Brucey reveal in my team. So since he debuted in round 8, he's averaging 60 points and he's added 257k in value. Thanks, Breville, for the 2 goals and 66 points. Enjoy the 1 vote, mate.
The 5 votes collected by Dempsey puts him into equal second now with Matt Roberts on 21 votes. They do trail Jeremy Sharp, who's sitting on top with 28.
Here's the news of the week you need to know on the official AFL Fantasy podcast.
All right.
We should actually have a -3 in the rookie leaderboard. Like Sharpie should have. Copped a negative.
Yep.
A couple of them probably.
We just can't keep patting them on the back.
No. They need to be more accountable at the bottom end.
They've got to learn.
We've got rid of him though.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Should have anyway. You have it. Yelch. All right, let's have a look here at the news. Tom Hawkins, bit of a foot. There's all that talk there going. Is it the last we've seen of him type thing? It sounds like it's going to be bad enough, though, that he's out for at least a bit of time. Now, Zach Butters, that shoulder, bit of a stinger.
Stinger.
Jordan Sweet, head.
Hurt his head.
No.
Hurt his head.
Hurt his head, yes, exactly.
Yeah, right.
That's what happened with him.
I hope his head's all right.
Don't know if he'll be in the side next week either. I reckon they'll go Soldo instead. Kai Lohman got a corked thigh and he was subbed out. He's been one of those good rookies too.
He has.
The bye period. Now, Isaac Heeney, there's something going on there.
Yeah, there is,
Roy,
isn't there?
you got any?
Well, yeah, I have actually, to be honest. Sources was contacted, and it's one that we need to keep a close eye on.
Okay.
So I'm not going to go breaking news unless it's 100%.
That's it.
Unlike other people, just to claim breaking news.
Yep.
And
Just
hopefully
know you
it's
heard
all
Roy
good.
knew something first.
Yeah, as long as you know that.
Potentially, maybe something's wrong.
Yeah, no, hopefully he's all right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chad Warner hurt his shoulder there too in that game. Now, Toby Pinkroy rolled his ankle, got
Pinky.
subbed out.
He was killing it too. He was tracking far better than Clayton Oliver.
Did he beat Oliver?
No, got him by one. So Oliver played a quarter and a half more than Pinky. Got him by one. But yeah, subbed out.
Yeah.
Big fella, he's a good target up forward.
Now, my old mate Christian Salem, who got my -3, the trading target, he was subbed in that last quarter, carried a knee knock into the game.
What?
So this is information we need to know before we trade in someone that we don't really like anyway.
I knew about
What
it.
happened to
Oh, of course you
I
did.
knew about it,
this
Roy.
injury transparency
Yeah,
that's supposed to be on
that's
the
never
improve?
Yep.
The good news is that Goodwin said he should be fine, but he's fine. He's packing his bags
That's
for the
it.
Warthogs.
I reckon.
See you later. Alex Pearce in that last game, bit of a forearm injury for him. He was subbed out. MRO.
Luke Ryan might have to actually play on someone properly. Oh my God.
Now, Paddy Dangerfield's copped a week from the MRO. That's the main one there, although the party for the MRO, they are going to be having a good time on at the end of the season. They thousands and thousands of dollars worth of fines this week, including old mate Butters who copped 10K. Old May got 1,800 for staging, but then there was that melee in that game too, the Dees and the Roos.
Look, I don't know how they got any money out of that.
Thousands of dollars in that. Thousands.
People like seeing that. No one got hurt.
No. To me, that's just entertainment.
To the panel, it's a holiday, isn't it?
Yeah. It's going to be a good holiday. Anyway.
What an excuse.
I know. Unbelievable.
Right. Cow, did you have anything for Tag Watch?
Just
Tag
a couple
Watch?
of quick ones.
Tag Watch
And
this week? This week? What?
TW. Now, Bedford, he's been a little bit of a problem the last couple of weeks, so maybe he goes to Jordan Dawson, Roy. Can he go with Jordan Dawson, or does he go to Laird?
Well, I just think they have to go to Dawson.
I think they do too. And then we'll look at Will Phillips.
Yeah,
Will
that's what we're gonna
Phillips.
do. Well, he has to stay inside. The way Clarko talked about him too is that he's rewarding him for
But
that work.
he can't go with Bond.
No.
No.
He's too
You
little.
can't. But like all the media just hammered Freo a couple of weeks ago. That was Bond's last game, wasn't it?
Yep.
The massive 30-3 pure domination. They were just saying, send anybody. Send a body to
Yep.
Bond.
Yep.
Like you cannot leave Bond. Now, is that going to be someone who matches up better in terms of a head-to-head battle but make him accountable? Because how could you possibly send that little guy to the Bond?
Like he's 181 centimetres, which
Imagine-
puts him a little bit taller than Dog.
Imagine Bond taking him to the square.
Oh, it's all over.
Oh, goodness.
So unless he goes
said
to
that.
like a
He's a bit
Trelaw
taller
or...
than me. He's a fair bit taller than me. He's got probably 5 centimetres on me.
Is that how short you are?
I think I'm about 176.
Oh, what does that leave me in the camera shot? I'm like rocking 130 over here, it looks like.
You do slouch.
I do.
So we've got that one. Now, Windhager.
Talk myself up to at least 6'2".
Windhager
Size
goes
8
to Butters or Rozee? Windhager. It's got to go to Butters, isn't it?
It's got to go to Butters.
Because once you've shown vulnerabilities, Roy, to a tag, you tend to get it again. And the last one we can talk about, which is, I'm going to direct you to the question, can you trade a bloke based on a tag coming up? And we'll talk about
Team's good, you can.
Jordan Clark, who will most likely get James Jordan, who held him to 57 not that long ago. Now, if you can see a 57 coming, do you jump off?
Like some super good teams this week might even get to the point where they've got someone capable of being best 22 on the bench. People might be able to loop and look now. That would be a nice position to be in.
Yep.
I don't know what the fixture looks like, but if, for example, Arie played early and I could get a 75, you'd probably take it. In terms of trading him, well, let's go back to last week.
Saints play Sunday.
Yep.
You could have gone trade out Whitfield because Jordan kept Whitfield in the 40s.
Yes, he did.
Last time. Now he's pumped out 108, I think.
Yep.
So that was a shadow not worth jumping at.
Yep.
Do I think Clark's going to be this lucky if he goes to him? No.
Probably not.
No.
The only other tag there
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer.
Zach Merritt, I reckon, will cop attention either from Blix or O'Connor. Now, O'Connor's tagged twice this year, and he's gone to Lockie Neal, who had a 75, and he's gone to Walsh, who's a 102. So I'm thinking that they're going to put attention into Merritt in some way or another. So, and that is the Saturday night game.
It's such a spanner because you hear Geelong and you think,
yes,
wicked matchup.
Yeah. They've been good for mids again.
But they tag every game now, and they either use Blix or they use O'Connor.
Well, Blix, was he used on the weekend?
He was. He went to Cripper a bit, they said.
Yeah.
Who had
We didn't
41
see that
touches.
enough, but
Yep.
destroyed.
He went there late.
Right.
Is this where we can bring this up about Roy in Thursday night's live show?
Oh, yes.
Sparked a little bit of a seed of getting in Blix. And then kept on going with it on Friday as well, and then didn't do it.
Hang on. This is not Deceptive Roy back again. I don't like Deceptive Roy.
As if I was ever going to do it. Now, what?
Okay,
Listen
it
to
was
this.
worth talking
Listen
about
to
right
this.
here, right?
Listen, just give me, because people have heard that now and gone, oh, that's right, I do remember him saying that. What an evil coach. Now, the thing was...
Evil coach, is that what they said?
It's not what they said.
Okay. It's a live show.
Yeah.
Teams drop.
Yeah,
He looked like he was playing ruck.
it did.
If
Yeah,
he
well, we
had
didn't really see that coming either, did we? That
No.
De Koning was...
Hell no.
Going to ruck
If he
against
had have
Brogue.
played ruck, he would have got his 95, which is what I was thinking. And for his price, a 95 would be very, very good. But it was De Koning, poor man's De Koning that was rucking. So as with Geelong, they are very, look, you think I'm deceptive. They are as deceptive as they come.
Yeah.
So until you've seen it or you're convinced or sources has
Roy
actually
Scott.
released it, sorry if anyone did it.
It's interesting, though. So out of
You're the
Blix...
triplets.
I didn't say to do it.
Brad, Chris and Roy.
Yes.
The triplets.
So Blix and De Koning had 80% of the team CBAs. So
Yeah.
they were both in there together. One was rucking, one was tagging.
I'll tell you who is an option. De Koning, if he keeps
Hey,
rucking.
check your waivers.
cheap.
Yeah.
Defender
Here's-
status, obviously.
Wouldn't
There you
mind
go.
him for the week instead of Clarkey.
Well, there
Just
you go.
give Clarkey a buy. His third buy. He's
cheap, Roy.
second buy.
Hang
cheap.
on, I was
Who
going to have a
knows?
quick look at that. The ruck contest then. So that looked like, in the end, 58% of them for De Koning, 36% for Blix.
There you go. Yeah, 442 for anyone interested, Roy.
How much?
442.
See, what an absolute bargain.
It is.
It's better than having Salem.
Yeah. If he does it, tell you what, he's worth watching.
Well, he turned up.
He did.
He turned up.
What's that disclaimer you put at the end of the thing? You might need that for some of your things that you say here.
Now, that was funny, by the way, because I was watching your little video that you do.
Yeah.
And I was just waiting, going, where's the funny bit? Where's the funny bit? And I'm going, hang on, what's going on here?
It's actually my favourite bit that I've done.
Yeah, and then it was funny at the end.
I can't beat that.
How are you going to keep doing this?
I can't. I
Well,
think
we're
I'm
going to
done.
talk about some of the options for this week, and I reckon we can find some good content there. But before we do, a couple of things out of Magoo's news. Fiorini scored 138. Ratkins 115 for Gold Coast there. Now, the one that we were really watching is McKercher. He was back. So 29 disposals, 8 marks, 104. Now, we're told that he was having limited time in the game. Do we know that for sure?
He played half a game. That's Colby
Legit.
High School numbers, that is. That's I reckon that's half a game for Colby.
Yeah.
So did he just go and take the P155 in that game and went, wowie?
He's
Yep.
a little bit too
So
good
he'll
for
be
that
back
level.
in. Now, that will change things for North as well. Because we did
Yeah.
see old mate Kapow or Kaplop
Yeah.
end up in the in the back line doing
Just
some.
wasting some of Fisher's possessions too.
Yeah. So he didn't get many himself. He won't.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, so that's going to change a couple of things for North, I reckon, because he will definitely be back in. But the other one there, we talked about old mate De Koning. So Conway in the Magoos, 37 hit-outs, 20 disposals and 99 points. What do you think they do? They stick with De
If
Koning?
he was available, why didn't they do it?
Yeah. And same was Stanley. Like, they pretty much dropped him. They
Yeah,
called him
100%.
injured. He was an emergency.
See, Stanley's days are done. That's done.
But that's why, like, surely
They've
Conway's their future.
They have to. They've just got to give it to Conway.
De Koning's not their future, though, is he?
Well, I don't know now. Like,
He was
what are they
good.
doing?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Blix is there just as a midfielder
Yes.
and a pinch hit. So, Conway's got to be the guy.
All right, let's have a look at the issues, our things that we need to do this week. And basically, it's about trades and what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So we're off the back of the buys. The strategy still continues.
It does.
You're trying to upgrade players. If you've got rookies on your field, you want to turn them into better players and just make your moves there. But some teams, like Roy's, will be into a bit of sideways movement.
Yeah.
Or your upgrades are from guys that Cow and I are pretty happy with in our sides.
They're elite.
to try to move.
It's just at the moment, and this is what has burnt me in the past. This period,
Yeah.
I've never traditionally been very good at it.
Even though
Luxury
you make
trades.
a rolling 22 each week.
Yeah, I know. Luxury is not my forte.
Yep.
You're a
I'm more of a
slum.
blue collar guy.
You are.
It's like we're still looking at our weakest link, trying to cut them.
Yep.
And that's where value is well and truly back in play with these guys, because you look at someone in your team and think, you're not actually that bad. But then you think, man, you're Connor Rozee's price.
Well, can we start there then? Let's talk about these guys as probably the biggest value. And I think Rozee has to be, is he the biggest target this week?
He has to be.
Has to be. He's way too cheap.
He's actually the most traded in, spoiler alert for later on. But
No, so he should be, because when someone that good is that cheap, you have to pay attention.
$705,000 he is.
So he had 14 touches, 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
And we said, launch now if it's like the only person you can get up to from a rookie upgrade or whatever.
Yep.
If you're in a more luxurious, wait till you see old Connor.
Yep.
And he's going to drop anyway.
And we saw that.
We've seen it, and he's bottomed out.
28 touches, 8 marks, 7 tackles for a 115 in a game where they got pantsed.
Down 251,000 and now back.
Yep.
Cow, can I tell you something?
Launch.
$15,000 it cost you to go from Clary to Rozee. Can you think about... Is there a better $15,000 you would ever spend, even in your whole life?
No.
Like,
You would be
Rozee,
happy with a $15,000 car compared to the upgrade that you'll get from
Rozee nearly beat him by 100.
That's just...
89. Crazy.
Wow. So, so he's obviously the main guy to target this week.
Has to be. So then we talked that value, Roy. Tom Green was back as well.
He was.
And we've probably been waiting for that to happen as well.
Yep.
He's at 770. So a bit more.
Yep.
But still cheap considering he was like 1 mil.
Yep, he's down 228K. So if you don't have either of those two, you are going to be able to make your team look a lot better very quickly if you're shopping in those areas.
All right. Price difference, you probably have to say it's Rozee ahead of Green.
Yeah. Yep.
Is there any argument that, like, if you have neither, it has to be Rozee? Is that right?
I think
Or
so.
is it Green? Is Green better than Rozee? Will Green score more points than Rozee? Who scores more points between them?
Well, Green's been in the role on 22 for a number of weeks this year. And at the start of the year, he was projected to be a top 8 mid, where Connor was sort of nipping at the heels of 8th.
What does scale say, V8?
I'm just saying that the scale ticks it probably to Green,
Yep.
but I'm with you. I think it's Rozee.
That's a scenario I think we can split for the money.
If you had to...
65K,
Yes.
go the cheaper one.
Do you want both of them?
Yes. At this bargain price.
So then do you get Green first because he's got a lower break even? Because you still will be able to get Rozee. You should still be able to get him. not much more than 700, whereas Green is most likely
Who
over
do they
800
both
next
play?
week.
Who do they play this week?
So GWS travel to play the Crows.
Yeah.
And Port Adelaide travel to play the Saints. Now, if Rosee's taking 8 marks like he did last week, if he's thirsty for marks, the Saints will let him have it.
I'm going Rozee
Is there any
first.
Windhager worry there?
Yeah, well, it's either him or Butters.
Yeah.
He is a 40% chance to get it.
Yep.
It would be 60 Butters, 40 Rozee.
Agree.
So you are buying into that. Whereas Green, who could he cop? Berry, if he's tagged.
Yeah, he won't. No tags for him.
Right.
But he could get a little bit of chincotta action the week after, maybe.
Right. Yeah, potentially.
I'm still Rozee.
He'll go to, no, that's the next one, Whitfield Cops.
Yeah, okay. Yep, it will be.
Do you miss Green then?
There's no
If
reason.
that's a conversation, yeah.
There's no reason to miss.
We can't be
Green.
jumping at
You'll
these
get him in a couple of weeks.
tags.
Okay.
Chincotta will cut Whitfield.
He will. Like he went to Tom Stewart.
Yeah, he still did the
Yeah.
halfback
Yeah.
type move.
But I don't know who else you'd go to from Geelong.
No,
Now,
Holmesy.
Roy, you are shopping for some bit more expensive midfielders.
Yeah.
So where are you looking at the moment?
Well, I don't mind. You know, I don't like chasing pods, right?
Yep.
But it's true that it can be a way to launch you up
You gotta like
in
it.
rankings. Yeah, but they have to tick enough boxes for you more than just the fact that they are unique, because they can obviously they can move you up quick, but they can obviously move you down quick, and it can be a lonely bloody island when
Yeah.
you're on there with a unique. However, Tim Taranto,
Yeah.
he has been at the top before.
He has.
Remember when you were redundant for like 12 weeks
Yep.
because the
The ton
captain was
run.
just Taranto?
Every week.
So he's got it in him. Now, on the flip side of that, we saw a really bad Taranto as well in the last probably 12 months.
After that point was
It was shocking, wasn't it?
It's like he went from 130
unrecognisable.
average to a 90 average or something.
Yeah. Anyway, since coming back from his injury the last 2 weeks, he scored 108 and 127. So he's got a break even of 95. He's down 89K. He's only 2% owned.
Yeah.
So Richmond are a team that I don't know if they even bothered tagging. Anyone bothers tagging someone, even if they've got a player that they've been running with
Agree.
as a tagger.
Yep.
So I think Taranto is quite a good unique if you're looking for a unique.
Just to look at that ton run went from round 1 to round 14, averaging 125 post-bye. So that their bye was round 15. He came back out with an 80, only scored 3 tons after that and averaged 93.
Who,
So 125 versus 93.
Roy, who will Chincotta tag this week then from the Tigers? Will it be Taranto?
Well, if he's going to go with someone, it possibly would. So he won't start at centre bounces or anything. No, but there's every chance he could run with him around the ground.
Does he get a Bolton? You know, or does he go down half back to a Jaden Short, Rioli?
They just don't do
I
enough.
just wouldn't think so.
You would have to think Taranto would be in the mix then.
You'd have to be.
But I feel like he'd go to Bolton, to be honest.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now, we're all Bont owners and
Yeah.
truthers and holders because
Yep.
we are stubborn, but
It's
he's been all right.
It's been a very painful journey, but I think he's done like 2 150s in his last 3, it feels like,
Yeah.
which it's pretty nice. He's down $101,000, averaging 131 in his last 3. So considering the price we all paid for him at the start of the year, that's a bargain. Now, is he going to be tagged on the run home? Hell yeah.
Of course he will.
He's got to be the number one target every single week, but it's just some teams don't have anyone that could match up on him.
And I think that's
so
North
he's a bargain.
Melbourne. North Melbourne this week. I don't think they've got people that can go with him.
Take out the second one, so you're not going to get the head of the snake, but you could go for like his middle of his back and get Trelaw.
Something like that. I think so.
Rightio, that's midfield. Probably got some other names there worth mentioning as we look at our moves. You're looking at Dawson as well, aren't you? As an
I
option?
am. Yeah, I am.
Right, defenders.
Tag concerns me. Defenders, so Lockie Whitfield.
Just do it.
So we're talking about worrying about tags and
Yep.
that, and he made Jordan look silly in terms of being able to shut him down on the weekend. So that takes him to a 3-game average of 117. He's a bargain at 870. Now, we all know he can turn in the odd bad one, especially if someone has a good tag day on him, but he's great value. Now, Yowie, God, I love how he forces us to talk about him every year, every few weeks. Well, 775, if that's all that you could get to in defence, that's a 108 average in his last 3 now, with 2 big hundreds in his last 2.
Yep.
Killing it. He's doing it like from 70% time on ground. But Yo's a beast when he's fit this year.
He is.
And he's an absolute bargain. Chippy. As much as I like to keep him to myself, that's a 5-game average of 112 he's got.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's-
good.
And he's still under 10% ownership.
Does his price ever go up?
No,
doesn't.
he's one of them. He's one of those guys.
It's like my score each week. Just stays the same.
So he's still under 900,000.
How much faith do you have doing it? Things are changing for the Pies. You have the buy round reset, but they're getting blokes back, aren't they?
They are, yep. So things will have to change. But I heard Fly come out and say it's no coincidence that when we were losing at the start of the year, Chippy wasn't in good form.
Did he use the words chippy?
Yeah, he would have.
He must listen to the podcast. Yeah. So that was a direct quote. And then they're winning games and Crisp is absolutely dominating. So I don't think that they're going to say, De Goey's back, Mitchell's back, throw him back to half-back. Because, he's one of the few that enjoys midfield time more than half-back.
Yeah,
so I'm not worried about it, but you do, this year, Dog, you got to be agile. You got to be willing to go, all right, he's back there.
And you're right. In those last last 5 games, no one has had more CBAs at Collingwood other than Chippy.
So, like, I've heard people talking about him now playing himself into All-Australian
As a midfielder.
contention as a mid.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Probably a little bit over the top.
Just keep away from the peroxide.
Well,
that's it.
It was just me
Yeah,
suggesting.
you suggested it.
People.
I'm a person.
You are that important, though. All right, in the forward line, you under 800K, Caldwell has to be an option.
That's another non-price mover.
Brilliant on the weekend.
Huge.
Good
His
matchups
ceiling is
coming up.
outstanding. That's 107 in his last 3. Yes, the matchups. And like you said, Dog, he was in the midfield properly this time. And his time on ground, way up for Caldwell. People that have owned Caldwell over the last few weeks would love his work while out there, but hate how frequently he goes and sits on the bench. Well, he wasn't that riding the pine guy on the weekend. He was just a valued midfielder, and his score reflected it.
He had the most CBAs for the Dons outside of, obviously, Draper, the ruckman. So he was the man in there.
Yep, and that can change quickly at
It
Essendon.
can.
But-
So, see, Archie Perkins had 61%. That'd have, apart from the first couple of rounds, that was his best for a lot. Well, apart from those first couple of rounds. So
Now, the beauty of it is when his CBAs dry up for God knows what reason, but some
Darcy
genius
Parish
coach
comes in.
But even a couple of weeks ago, you check, he had next to none. Like he was in there 6 times, I think.
Yeah, he's 36.5. Oh, he had a couple of games of very low, a 0 and an 8%.
Yeah. So, and he still scores all right. So I think he's a great forward option. He's well and truly entrenched in the 22 now. He's not even that guy hanging by a thread in F6.
That West Coast one, that's where he was subbed out, wasn't he? That calf top.
Oh,
that's right.
that as well. Goodness. No wonder your price hasn't moved,
There you
mate.
go.
Stay on the ground.
Yeah.
Simpkin?
Simpkin, well, what was
is
it, 81?
Yeah.
Tick
That's a
after the
pass.
134.
That's a pass. We said we wanted 80 as a pass, but you'd want 85.
You want 85. I think in teams like mine, that's acceptable.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas a team like yours, Roy, a hat-winning team, that you can't have players like that in there.
So he didn't hit the
But-
heights of his centre bounces, what he did with that big 130 a couple of weeks ago against West Coast, where he had 65% of them and was pretty much the equal second banana
Yeah.
with LDU behind Wardlaw. The difference was Will Phillips was in.
Yes.
And so he was in there to do that job.
So it did bump him out, didn't it? What
Yeah.
did he have last?
40% in the end.
Yeah.
So it's still all right because you had LDU and Wardlaw as the two main guys, but then Phillips had the most. He had the most centre bounces for North Melbourne.
Yeah.
Because, well, Clary's having the most for.
Of course.
Yeah, and it's going to happen
Melbourne.
again this week. So he's an interesting one. So, he ticks boxes, break even, 41. He's gone 132, 81 in his last two. He's looking more like his old self again. The only thing is, Cal, the reason he doesn't really look out of place in good teams is because if you just throw him in that F6,
Yeah, okay.
81's not much worse than anyone around him, is it? Who else is in the mix for F6 at the moment? I reckon Sexton's all the way down
Yep.
at F6 now. Simpkins an F6 kind of guy. You've got no faith in Moore,
No,
Luke
that's true.
Jackson,
Yeah, okay.
Bakes.
Bakes. These
Yep.
are all the guys.
In that rotation.
They're about
Yeah.
that. And I think that's why I went Simpkin in the end, is that he can be my F6 or pseudo F6
Yeah.
for cheaper than some of these other guys
Yeah.
are at the moment. You might as well just roll him there. So 17K
Yeah.
value.
Yeah, it is. You don't expect much, but he's not going to be much worse than anyone else in that spot.
Fair enough.
Guess we better mention the rookies, and you might need to be grabbing some cash. And healthy benches are still important. Cal likes to let his bench rot.
They're going to rot now. They're done.
And our defenders have been rotting, haven't they?
They have.
The whole season. pretty
All
much.
year long,
I
though.
don't reckon since I traded out Howes whenever I did that a while ago, I've had zeros there the whole time.
Have you? Yeah.
So you've got a couple of options this week if you don't have either of them. Arie Schoenmaker, 236K, and Logan Evans, 237K. Basically, they both scored 74, 75 in their debut games and should be playing their second game this weekend.
Would you go down to Hugh Davies from Freo?
No,
Did his
Cal.
price move?
Oh, no.
No.
So,
And now it won't move a long way because he missed his break even by 20-odd points.
86% time on
Don't
ground.
be mean,
I'm not.
Calvin.
I'm just reading the stats. 86% time on ground. 0 points. 0.
He had a handball.
Yeah, he
And a
lost that.
tackle.
Couple of frees against. All I'm saying is that's Clayton Oliver areas.
So when we say, and we say this quite often, I could go out there and score that.
I think you could.
You wouldn't have got that time on ground. You've been subbed out before that.
All you had to do is avoid giving away a free kick for the whole game and you could have matched him.
He's going to tell his mates that he'll say, I debuted. Clayton Oliver only beat me by 26.
And that's all right.
And they'll go, oh, you've done it right, haven't you?
Pushed a ton, probably.
Anyway, so he's not an option dog?
Arie or Logan Evans? Who are
Key
you picking?
defender. It's a bit harsh.
Logan Evans had 50 at the half.
Yeah.
He was looking good. I'm going Arie out of those two
Why?
because I think Arie will have access to more points.
Does Arie, whose job security is better?
Probably Arie's for the next few, maybe.
Is it though?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. He's got another
You've
three.
got
The thing
Nasai
is-
Wanganeen Miller to come back
True.
in, which
With,
changes things.
And with Logan Evans, they play against each other this week. So defenders playing against St Kilda, we all know how that
Field
ends.
day.
So
I think I'm Evans.
I'm switched it. I'm Evans.
Porter in trouble.
I'm Evans.
They might as well play, not that St Kilda are in dominating or whatever, but...
No.
Oh, look at him and these Essendon boys sitting there, all swaggy.
Top four.
Tell you what, the Port Adelaide fans, they're coming for Hinkley
They are.
again.
Yep.
That sounds like the people outside this studio when they see Calvin out walk out of the office.
Yeah.
Calvin out.
So yeah, Logan Evans, I think over Arie.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Jeez, that didn't take you much to switch around.
No,
on
it
that
didn't,
one. What about, can you pay $292K for Colton Tolstrup?
He's going to be there for a while.
He'll stay in that team.
He will be there for a while.
got a
But
bit
you're
of
paying an
spunk.
extra, 60 odd.
So if you didn't have, if you're okay to roll with whatever you've got there on your bench in the forward line, do you just roll with it and don't miss a bloke like this? For example, if you got Billy Dowling last week. He's still only $301,000. So if you're comparing those two, who are you going for?
It's Colton.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just save the $9,000.
I think so.
9,000.
It's a fair bit.
It is. Need every coin.
Not fantasy though, really, is it?
I think Tolstrop, it's hard, those two, because they both should be given opportunities, but we can't get inside the minds of
But
the
he
coaches.
pushed up the ground and he was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked good, all right.
All right.
There you go. Lock them in.
It's just a funny time for rookies, isn't it?
Well, at the start of the year,
You still
I feel
want them
like
on your bench, though.
we'd be chasing these guys quite hard at the start of the year.
You want them on
to
your bench, and you might need the cash from a move to upgrade something like the Clary move. As we've called it, the easiest move of the year. Pretty much going Clary to Rozee, 15K. It's not like you're having to go and grab some cash. But if you already had Rozee and you've got to move Clary up, or you're trying to get that Powell up to someone, you're going to have to get some cash from somewhere.
See, have we got rookies coming through? Like, if these guys are good, say
They're
I've
the
got
only ones
someone
to
like
grab, yeah.
like I've got someone like Brucey,
Yeah.
ready to probably move on. Is it now? Like, do I have to go on one of those guys?
I think when the teams will start to pack it up, I think some of the ones that aren't going to make finals and start to give these
some
teams a
we'll
bit
have
more
some
run.
targets
Happens
come
every
through.
year. Happens every year.
Yeah,
I think we'll get some.
yeah.
It's not a rookie crisis,
No,
Roy.
Eventually, Zach Reed cow might end up back in the team for us. And
It's one of the greatest holds all year, Roy.
oh, hopefully works out for you.
all right, let's look at the most traded players so far ahead of round 16. Connor Rozee's right at the top there, and there's a good reason for that at that $705,000 figure. Logan Evans, then Arie Schoenmaker. Is that the decision there? Logan's been traded in by more people than Arie. And then you've got Caldwell and Colton Tolstrop. Make out the five. So I guess you've got a mix of rookies there and a couple of, value premiums as such. Rozee and Caldwell. We'll tick both of those off.
100%.
Just to let you know, Cal, Colby McKercher is further down the list there. Could be a good option.
Bit of a target.
Most traded out. Oh, Clayton Oliver. He is the most traded out player. I didn't know he had ownership like that to be the most traded out. Anyway, Joel Freyer, Salem, Jeremy Sharp, and Kane McAuliffe. So a few rookies in there saying goodbye, but those D boys, we're not overly happy with them. And maybe that's where the trade should start, because I'm getting rid of both of them as well. So see you later, Oliver and Salem. Rozee and Caldwell come in for me. So it's almost feels like a bit of a no-brainer with being able to do that, because I'm getting two blokes that really didn't deliver, and they are coming in with blokes that will, hopefully.
Yeah, so I'm doing a bit of luxury trading. So Ryan and Sexton.
Oh, look, Ryan's gone
out. Yeah, I'm not happy about it.
Fair enough.
And you think about this. So Ryan will go to Jordan Dawson.
Win.
And Sexton will go to Rozee.
Win-win.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
I'm getting rid of some players I don't really like, Roy, and that's Oliver and Colosi, and I'll be bringing in two players I do like in Rozee and good old Colby's back.
Oh, nice.
For the third time this year.
Well, that's nice to see Colby back in your side. I reckon Sam Closey looks like a good bloke.
He is a good bloke.
Yeah,
I
didn't you like?
I took my frustration out on Oliver. I apologise, Sam.
Got a question for the traders? Tweet the boys at AFL Fantasy or head to facebook.com/AFL Fantasy official.
Tweet. All right, let's hit up Twitter for some questions from the punters out there that want to know. All right, so John wants to know, if you can't get the upgrade you are after with one rookie left on field, would you consider a double downgrade this week for Arie and Tolstrop? So if you can't get to who you want, a double downgrade.
There's got to be someone there that you want, though, in that
It's not
range.
a double downgrade time.
No, it's not. If it puts you in a position where you could get a double shot at your worst spot on field through a loop, that would maybe make it viable.
I'm going to say no. I reckon there's players out there in a price range you can grab.
reach.
It's got to be your... No, I don't know how many teams would actually have both Green and Rozee this week.
No.
Unless you went a touch early.
And
Some would.
Is it? And like someone like Simpkin is cheap, but it's not an exciting one to launch into.
No.
It's not who he wants long term, is it?
Agree. But and that's why I'm going for someone like a Colby. Like, it's just an easy
Well, you
patch
could reach
up.
Colby.
You could get
couldn't
to
you?
that.
I'd prefer that than a double downgrade.
Yep.
Braden's got this one. Hey, Legends, do I spend up for someone like Taranto, Dawson, Treloar, or go someone like Rozee and bank the cash and do one final upgrade next week?
You bank the cash with Rozee.
Got to remember, Rozee was like, he started as a 110 guy,
Yes.
which is what he is.
He is.
So he was a 112, I think, over the first 5 or 6 weeks. And since then, of course, injuries, blah, blah, blah. But from this point on, he can be a 110 guy.
So I think last year from this point on he was. I
Yep.
think he went at 111 or something from
Whereas
memory.
if you
Pre-season memory.
pay up and go at Dawson, you're still getting a 110 guy.
Yeah.
Probably slightly better.
Probably,
Yep.
but it's a lot of money.
It's a lot
Like
of money.
Rozee is just.
It's
This
a
is one
gift.
where you ignore the price, thinking you're getting a dud,
Yeah.
because you're actually getting a genuine gun.
You are.
Yeah,
All right. Caldwell or Rozee?
Rozee, I think, but
Caldwell
God, the
with the
value
forward
of him
status.
in the forward line is beyond a joke at the
Yeah.
moment, isn't it?
Yep.
It is tough. I
it's
think
still
I'd still
Rozee.
go Rozee.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Okay. Prime wants to know, do you prioritise trading Oliver or Powell? Are we just blinded by what Clary did, or he just has to go?
He's got to go. Like, I'm
I'm
not.
trading Oliver over Powell.
So am I.
Trading
Are you
Powell would
sure you
complete my
wanna do
forward
that?
line and get me Caldwell. Trading Oliver can get me a mid under 960k. That's still a gun.
Well,
The other
is.
trade can't be made next week due to the lack of funds.
Oliver needs to go. He dropped 54k this week. He's now down to 690 with a break even of 131. You get rid of him now. The ship is sinking. Jump.
But look, Kapow is
I know.
horrible to own.
26 points, Roy. 26. No, Oliver goes. Everyone send him a message.
He has to go.
Everyone send it.
There's more chance that Oliver can somehow get to 80 next week than Kapow.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
How long since Kapow's hit 80?
A long, long time. So Oliver plays Brisbane at the Gabba Friday night. Does he get a little bit of berry time?
Oh, no.
Yep.
Jared.
He just has to go. There is no...
Jared would rock up to Oliver and Oliver would look at him and Barry would just go, I'm sorry, mate. I'm really sorry. And he just goes, oh, please don't. Go away, Jared.
Kick at Clary while he's down.
Oh,
By the hair of my chinny
he
chin.
just doesn't
no.
want to do it. Oliver goes.
Has to.
Done.
Lockie wants to know, if he's named, could you roll with Colby McKercher as your final rookie? Well, that's essentially what you're doing, V8.
Yeah, desperate times.
Yeah, I'm putting a motion forward that we stop calling Colby a rookie.
He's not a rookie.
I think he's better
Yep.
than a rookie in that half-back
Just
role.
a sub-premium...
Yeah.
He scored 100 in the VFL in a quarter.
Yep.
It's a quarter,
Right.
now, is it?
And he had a spell in the middle of the quarter.
So, yeah.
a drink.
It's a no-brainer.
Elijah's got this one. 12th highest score for the round.
Well done.
Well done.
Took to Taranto
Okay.
or a reveal to Simpkin. Second finishes the team. First leaves Richards as the last rookie pending him playing.
We don't. Oh, sorry.
That's an interesting one because Took's coming off a nice score
yeah,
there.
and we don't want a pending playing.
Revel to Simpkin.
Yeah.
Just do
It
that.
feels
It's the
boring.
straight back.
But Simpkins also,
Wait.
even if he's not pumping out huge scores, his break even's so low that he's still edging you closer to launching into someone better at some stage.
Yep.
Rhett wants to know, would you consider Laird or Viney? That's a conversation that we have had in the last 24 hours.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the interest in Viney is obviously he was awesome last year in the run home when he had to fill in for, who was it? Clayton.
Yep.
Back then. And now Petraka's out. And he'd already had a decent bit of form leading into it. How did he score on the weekend? Because the commentators were loving his work.
He had a 96, 25 touches, 6 tackles.
Right. So I think he's a good option. I still think he's underpriced, but I'm more interested in the Laird, to be
Same.
honest.
Yes.
So I remember when we spoke to Lairdy earlier this year, shout out to Lairdy, bloody
Lairdy.
legend of a bloke.
Legend.
And we said to him, can you imagine when you played halfback if it was the halfback that we're seeing now? And he was like licking his lips, laughing at what he would have done
Yep.
in that role. Well, he's been doing a fair bit of work off halfback.
He did. This was against the Swans. He had 34 touches, 6 marks, 6 tackles, 91% time on ground for a 127.
91% time on ground.
Yeah.
That, even out of all those impressive numbers, that's almost the most impressive for his because his time on ground had been shocking.
So if you're just cruising across half-back, though, he
fine.
can play 90% game time.
So this is just so weird, though. So Crouch is out.
I know.
So the number one banana is out, and in the shuffle, it's seen Laird go to half-back.
So in that last game, Laird had 22% of the CBAs, right? The main people they used were, Michael Heeney, is that his name? Michael Heeney?
Yeah.
So he had the most CBAs out of all midfielders.
Yeah.
Followed by the predictable Dawson, Rankin, and then Saligo. So if Michael Heeney, who is a halfbacker, if he goes into the guts, then they're just switching spots. Lairdy is a legit option.
I am starting to warm to him over Dawson.
Yeah. Halfback Lairdy is back.
The cash and the halfback and the time on ground. If Lairdy's playing that time on ground, Lairdy has always been a points per minute machine.
Probably doesn't matter what role he plays either, really.
No.
So, yeah, it'd just be a bonus if he does that halfback for
Yeah,
a few cheaper ones.
Because he's on longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, man. That is my choice there. Laird. And I think you're going to love it.
842K.
He's a bargain.
He's a bargain.
I tell you, wants to know, what do we do with Salem?
Dog.
You go, dog.
Okay, I've got him in my trades out.
Yes.
But there is a world that I hold him.
Oh, God.
Stop doing this to
Help
yourself,
us.
dog. I'll check the scale for him, dog. Oh, dog. He goes orange, orange, red. Get rid of. These green runs are done, dog. I told you about this. Just don't listen.
Why didn't you tell me about it?
I knew. I just kept it to myself. Salem can go. There you go.
Trade him
Well,
out.
what would you do to him? Could he just go, if you needed cash, could he go down to Colby?
I'd pat him on the back after what he did to you. That's what I'd do to him.
Roy, don't do this because we're together in your hat quest.
I forgot. Sorry.
And you spite the fantasy gods when you do this
you
stuff.
do,
no,
Roy.
that
There
is
is some
true. I
swagging
do.
out
No,
there
yeah,
for
you're
people
right.
that will cop it.
Yeah, you're right. Every time I do head wobble the slightest bit, it could even be shooing away a fly. The fantasy gods see it.
Yeah.
They come down on me like a ton of bricks.
Matt's got this one. Do we trade Oliver instead of your last rookie? Yes.
Yes.
You still do.
You guys need to stop this.
Did you?
right
You didn't
now.
own him on the
He
weekend.
got tagged.
And he'll get tagged again. No, it was atrocious. His price is going. He'll be rookie price soon.
He'll be, he'll be under 600.
And you don't want him as part of your best 8 midfielders.
What
for
if you-
now or for the medium
Okay.
term or for the long term?
What if your last rookie is one of those Collingwood guys?
Okay, so here's the
Okay.
thing.
Who do
Who
40s?
are you okay with playing if that meant your last rookie?
Well, I was thinking the 40s don't look too bad, actually, compared to
Dowling?
Oliver, do they?
Would you play Dowling?
over.
Well, not over Oliver, but Oliver moving up, and if that meant you
Okay.
had to play your Dowling.
Provided they're not vested, yep. You could even go Evans with the St Kilda matchup this week. Arie, based on
could.
the fact that they love kicking him the ball and he's under the roof.
Yeah, all of those I would.
Those pies, that's where it starts getting a worry.
I'm not
Wouldn't
going
do
there.
the-
The
wouldn't do
buy-round
pies.
reset.
What about
Tolstrop?
Freya?
What about
I would.
Freya? You could.
Freya gets you
60.
50 or 60.
What about Brucey? He's average 60.
He's average
we said
60,
early.
yeah.
Oh my god!
Look,
you shouldn't be doing it.
I'll play any rookie with a heartbeat over Oliver this week.
He's
Tolstrop,
I think
Tolstrop will score more than
Yep.
his mate.
Great player.
if he had have somehow got to 50, you'd say, look, that was
That
a
was
bad
just a
one,
bad
but he'll
week.
be fine.
26, Roy.
You don't understand what
You
26
don't
feels
understand.
like.
Why did I
You
trade
sitting
him? I
there
must
from-
have traded him for a reason.
Yeah,
He
was
must have.
Geez, you've been hitting some good moves.
so lucky.
All right, Joel wants to know, is Trent Rivers an option? So he was in the mix for that midfield.
So he had a 110.
Yeah.
And then he had his bye, of course. Before that was a 101. So a couple of hundreds in a row.
Yeah.
So let me click on there, CBAs, and he ended up with 80%. He was behind Max. He had the most CBAs for. So Clary still only had 68%. So Phillips stayed in there. So Phillips had centre bounces without actually being next to Clary. There you go. That's interesting.
I guess you have to, don't you? If
Yeah,
if you
that's
rock
your
in
role.
there to go on him and He's decided to go.
He
somewhere
runs
else.
away.
So Rivers hadn't been in the centre bounce. He's only had one game where he's been in there with 33% of them in round 5, and that is no real reason for it. Don't know why.
Draft only. Have a look there in your draft
Yeah.
for Rivers.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, if the role's there the rest of the year,
Yeah, I don't think I'd be launching
Just
into
defender
that.
status.
692k straight defender. Clogging up at the defender spot though, Roy.
that's true.
That's a problem.
That is a problem.
So does Salem.
That's true.
I don't think we want to go messing with the D's, to be honest.
No.
Like, Max, I can see the Viney interest, but outside of Max, I don't think we want a demon.
I'm with you.
Well, probably the other way this week, but it was... scroll past it. Oh, there it is, Matt. Colby or Simpkin?
Colby.
It's Colby.
For me.
Interesting.
He scored 100 points in the VFL in just over 5 minutes. All right? Get around him.
Bo wants to know, is Errol Goulden a certain captain? Cal, make it easy for us.
There's no such thing, right, Roy?
You got to have a V on him or something.
You've
don't
got to
you?
have something on him.
You do.
You
When does
do.
he play? Saturday, Arvo.
It is Saturday, the 1:45 game at the SCG against Freo.
Man.
It's just, yeah, you've got to have something.
He won't be under 120.
You wouldn't think so.
No.
Form alone, 144 in his last 3.
There's a lot of
No
questions
tackles.
about Luke Ryan to finish off with. And we have been going for a while
Have
here.
Moisey.
David says, is the fraud puke Ryan a trade?
Yep,
I will just leave the last one here.
People are being mean.
they are.
From Jack, whose idea was Ryan?
Boom. Roy. But he did it as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'd be more likely to apologise if I didn't do it.
yeah. So will you actually trade him this week?
Hell yeah.
He's definitely
Hell
going. He's
yeah,
gone.
hell yeah.
Hell yeah,
Hey,
hell yeah.
that's a part of my song I'm working on, dog. You wait. Next week, Roy will be in the top 100.
Top 100, Roy, the song gets released.
It gets released.
So, Crying Ryan, okay, don't do a stupid song. Now, Crying Ryan, well, what do you think the fantasy gods will think about a song, you idiots? You're trying to set me up for failure. We can still play a bit of a break-even game here.
Yeah.
He's 161,000. So, realistically, let's just go back to my trades for a minute. Him to Rozee is an upgrade in terms of clientele on the park. And think about the money you make from that.
Yeah, 970.
How much have you lost from having him?
Not
No,
as
not
much
that
as I
much,
deserved.
43 this week, you lost.
Yeah.
Just 100 points.
Yeah.
Break even 161.
Yeah.
So he will continue. And the way he's playing,
Got
it
a
just
nice
looks
run.
disinterested.
He's got a nice run. Alex Pearce is hurt. He's been awful. He was even worse after the coach said, I want the players to stop touching the ball.
Which is a weird thing to say, right?
It is. Yep, trade him. Yep, take the cash. And even if he has a good score, you can say, well done, but I got 200,000 out of that
Yep.
and got a better player.
All right.
There it is.
Thanks for tuning in to the podcast. This is a long one. We're going to be late for our lunch.
Yeah, you're stretching these
Getting
out too
hungry.
long, dog.
Well, you keep talking.
No, well, guys, I'm making sense for once.
You are.
Yeah.
You're on.
You've got a clear mind from your 9K ranking.
We're going to win a hat.
We are going to win a
We're
hat.
going to win a hat, Roy.
They're listening. The gods are listening.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Check everything at afl.com.au/fantasy during the week. And don't forget to tune in to us live on afl.com.au and the AFL Live app on Thursday night, 6:15. That is, 45 minutes of a lot of fun as the teams come out for round 16. We'll see you there and good luck this week.
Happy trading.
You're going to win a hat.